Hi, we're Roy and Karen, and this video is our 3rd anniversary in the Villages.
No champagne this time.
Herbal tea.
Oh boy, she's trying to get me healthy. One of the things that we want to talk to you about are our intentions for 2025. We didn't do so good in 2024. My personal biggest disappointment was that we didn't get to do Re-Engage. That's the marriage ministry we used to do. We found a church in Mount Dora that was doing it. It was going to happen on Sundays. By the time they started it was going to be on Tuesdays.
That little change meant that I couldn't go because I was still at work and we would need to be heading out there.
I was still at work too. It was back May, a year ago, May of 2024. We were both working an hour to Mount Dora, 2 hours for the program, another hour to come home. This just was not going to happen.
Take the refresher for ourselves and then gear up towards helping others with that program.
We'll see what 2025 brings. We're just not sure at this point. But our biggest delight, this was the year we got to go back to Texas 3 times to see Bridget and Taylor. 3 times. So Bridget got married, and then Bridget bought a tiny home. Bridget and Taylor bought a tiny home, and we got the phone call. We don't have any room for all those photo albums. Come and get them.
So our downsizing now needed to come back on our turf because they were downsizing. But it was an opportunity to have an extra trip out to Texas.
Absolutely.
And turn it into a vacation and go up the Natchez Trace and run in as fast as we could in front of a hurricane.
And we're going to do a video on that.
And then over to see friends that I hadn't seen in years that had relocated to Tennessee and to Atlanta. And we just, as we always do, make the best of a great situation.
And then we got to spend Christmas with the kids. So we thought we would take a break for maybe a month or 2, and then we'd come back. And before you know it, it's 6 months later.
Since the last video we recorded for YouTube.
That wasn't the plan. During those 6 months that we didn't put videos up, what did we do?
Lots.
We rented a pontoon boat again.
Went out with our small group and spent some time out on the chain of lakes. Went up the Mount Dora Canal and just had a great time with them. Went and enjoyed a meal together afterwards and just living the life we love to live here.
Then we did a caravan with a bunch of friends. It was a Mother's Day picnic at Live Oak Park, which I had never heard of, but somebody at your work had said, hey, have you been to this park? Yeah. And we made a day of it.
Yep, Sunset Point was being renovated, and we were all disappointed. Oh, we can't have our picnic. And a friend says, yes, you can, right across the street. There's a great place for that.
And it was beautiful. Then we had some friends that invited us to go see the Doobie Others at the Savannah Center. Now, I'm not wearing it, and I probably should have for this video. But you guys have seen my watermelon shirt. I bought that for a particular reason, and it took months for me to get to the Franklin Rec Center to stand up against the wall and see if anybody would notice me.
It's camouflage shirt for the Franklin Rec Center.
Okay. Now, we also had many milestone birthdays, anniversaries, friends, so many parties. The Villages, it's just party heaven here. We have a friend that started up a Christian cardio drumming class. And I thought to myself, is anybody going to show up to this?
It was filled up in no time. I was just grateful because so many of them I couldn't get to during the work week. And this one was on a Saturday morning. I knew I could usually make that.
And I'm thinking to myself, maybe we shouldn't even be telling you about this. Maybe I should edit this section out because it's already so packed that Karen's going, "What? This is too peoply. I got to get out of here." So forget I even told you about it.
Come back in April.
I think it may have been the first show at the new Tracy in Middleton. And we went to see the Spin Doctors.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. What a special birthday treat.
Had a hurricane come through. Was it
Couple
Helene?
Helene and then Milton.
And I don't know which one did the damage to Payne's Prairie, but again, it's hard to get into these Florida state parks. And so we had made reservations for Payne's Prairie months ahead of time. By the way, Payne's Prairie has bison roaming around.
A herd of bison and all kinds of critters that we wanted to go explore and see.
Well,
hopefully.
They canceled us because of hurricane damage.
They wouldn't let everybody come in until they were sure everything was secure and safe.
So we went back to
Port St. Lucie.
We love it there. It's
peaceful, scenic. I just love the Army Corps of Engineer campgrounds and with the space and the cleanliness and just simple and nice.
And I think the funniest thing about that particular trip was we had actually recorded a video. We were going to come back a little earlier. We recorded a video on the golf cart and the camera fell and we broke it. The casing where the microphone goes in. And so we didn't realize we had broke it until went back to edit it and there was no sound. So when we went to Port St. Lucie, we decided to record the video again there.
Hi, we're Roy and Karen, and this video is about our spring in the villages.
Of course, it's not spring anymore, is it?
Might be about summer too.
This is middle of July, and where are we? We're at the
St. Lucie at the St. Lucie Locks.
It just
didn't feel like it.
I didn't feel like it. I wasn't in the mood. I just wasn't in the mood. And then something changed. We started missing you guys. We started missing you guys a lot. It's that connection. We just moved here. We just bought a house. We're here on a lifestyle preview visit and we're doing all this stuff. And it's because of you.
We love hearing those stories and it helps us go back and remember when we first were going through this and all the excitement and the newness and the novelty can fade and it helps bring it back for us. Or people that we met early on when we first started this that were watching our videos and came up to introduce themselves, and we see them every week multiple times now. They've become dear friends. And
we miss you guys, and we just want you to know that if you do see us, we live to hear your stories. So tell us. Things started changing for me when I took this new job. Some of you may remember, middle of last year, the company I work for asked me if I would switch from the Texas company to a Florida division. And I thought that'd be good because then I'd be working on Florida time and you and I could get out and do more things in the evening. Did not work out real well. Well, I didn't want to be looking for a new job at 68. Maybe it's just time to call it quits.
And I thought when Roy retired, no problem, I'll just keep going to work and he can retire and I'll join him at 65 like we originally planned. And then it went, wait a minute. I don't know about that plan. I want to retire.
Because we're both retired, we now have these intentions for 2025 that we want to tell you guys about. Let me flip this page. It's quite the story. Some of you might remember that we told you the moment we retire, remember we bought an RV. The moment we retire, we're going to Alaska. And you know, they say talk is cheap. I chickened out. The longest RV trip we'd ever been on was a week and a half. Now we're gonna get in the RV and we're gonna go 6 months. We don't know if we could last 4 weeks. So we decided, let's hold off on Alaska. Number 2 is it's really expensive. Mm-hmm. Let's make sure of our finances before we jump in. Mm-hmm. So what we decided to do, and we're gonna do it this spring, and we're gonna make a whole video just to show you what the plan is, because it's a monster trip. But the short story is we're gonna go to South Dakota. That's on our bucket list. Mm-hmm. We're gonna go to Glacier National Park. We're gonna go all the way across. Gonna get some Chicago pizza. We're gonna go to Maine.
Go up to the Bay of Fundy.
We figured
might as well at that point.
It's only 4 hours away from Maine. Let's go. Bay of Fundy is where they have one of the largest tides in the world, like 30 to 50 feet. And then we're gonna zigzag down the East Coast. Karen's never seen it. I want to take her to the Delaware shore. I want to take her to Williamsburg,
Virginia,
and Jamestown to see where our country was founded. Mm-hmm. We are getting the RV into shape. We've been fixing those few mechanical issues that we had that caused some of those stressful trips we had in the past. But if you saw our last video about going to visit the kids,
smooth and easy.
No stress, no issues whatsoever. The best RV trip we've ever been on, and I hope this trip will be exactly the same. I actually went up on the roof of this RV. Oh my God, I am terrified of heights. And I went up on this roof and the RV is shaking as I'm walking, and it's not a rubber roof, it's a fiberglass roof. So it's a little more slippery, or at least in my head, it's more slippery than a rubber roof, and I'm dying. How did we forget to tell them that we're gonna go back to the Keys? You remember I told you it's impossible to get a reservation in any of the Florida state campgrounds in Key West, in the Keys. Well, I just happened to be scrolling through and there was a block. Somebody must have canceled it. Who knows? Maybe minutes before we got there. It's just God's plan. We got 5 nights
at Curry Hammock.
At Curry Hammock in the Keys. This is right next to Marathon. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a blast, and that's going to be in October. So, unlike when we went the last time in August,
that was a warm, hot trip.
Oh my God, it was so hot and so humid. October, it's going to be 70s, high 70s. Nice. Mm-hmm. Really, really nice. But it may sound like we don't like the Villages very much. But we talk about all these RV trips. We love it here. Now we're retired. So what are we doing? We're looking at all the schedules for all the rec centers. When are they doing water aerobics? And I want to do that with you. Yeah. Oh, when are they doing Zumba? Oh, you can do that on your own, honey.
And Roy with the the membership for his classes at the gym. I'm not a member there yet, so he can go off and do that and come back together and maybe have some ballroom dance lessons.
We've been doing that. We took one lesson.
Do cardio drumming together.
We've been doing that.
Maybe some yoga.
My intention is to do almost everything with Karen. My retirement is spending my time with her. That's what I've been dreaming of. So, but I don't want to do Zumba. I don't do that salsa, Latin, jazzy. My body does AC/DC. Boom, 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 boom. Now, even though we do love the Villages, there are some things we still hate about the Villages. And we did a video, and I'm gonna put it right here, the top 10 things we hate about the Villages. You should go check that out. In the meantime,
we appreciate you stopping by.
See ya.